please call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454.
The views of the following show are not necessarily the views of broadcast management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of broadcast management are, well, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA. Hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And good afternoon to you. Good Wednesday, hump day here at KCAA. 4 o'clock as we get to the business at hand of fun, frivolity, and just general goodwill on the Mark here. I'm Mark Westwood on KCAA, 1050 AM, 106.5 and 102.3. Welcoming a bunch of people today. Today's show will include a great old veteran here from KCAA's show lineup. In just a little bit, we'll talk with Elaine McFadden. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you, and it's we need to do this more often, Elaine. And then we have Andrew Caravella in the control room. Hello, Andrew.
What's going on?
Andrew, always good to have Andrew here.
I try.
Yeah, and then we have a brand new victim here. No, hi there, guys. And that is, you get to the microphone a little bit.
I'm Bradford Evans.
Why aren't we hearing you? Okay. All right. A little bit more with Brad.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Okay, now we're better. Okay, now we have a good introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the crowds are going. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to us and you, our newest employee, Bradford Evans.
Pleasure to be here with you guys.
Yes.
I don't need a round of applause, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, we're going to get you started.
That's
here.
good, because I don't do sound effects.
Well, I did it for him.
Oh, okay.
I'm a good cheering section.
That's good enough. I need somebody to cheer for me.
And so Brad has, Bradford.
Either one.
Either one, okay. Just don't call you late for supper. Okay. Is going to be starting here next weekend. And he's going to be doing the morning shift for us. And we're happy here. He's been training a little bit and adding his expertise here. He comes to us from the Annenberg School
for Communication.
For School for Communications, yeah.
I remember that was one of my quizzes, is that it was School for Communication, not School of Communication. So they want to make sure that you get it right, and not communications.
Yeah. Yes.
Communication. If we're getting really pretentious here.
You got to communicate that,
right?
you know?
I went through that same thing in my college courses, too. Communications is different than communication. And, of course, especially if you're going through broadcasting and things like that, it's different. They're a little more hoity-toity in communications.
I guess so.
Yes,
I guess so. I can't even define my major. If you ask me to define what communications entails, I'm like, it's so broad, I have absolutely no idea. But I can communicate, or so I think.
Yes, you can. And so we're delighted to have you here, and you're starting at a good time at KCAA. Before I start interviewing Elaine, we've had a bevy of new shows, ladies and gentlemen, starting. First of all, unfortunately, with the untimely death of Art Bell.
Yeah, that was sad.
That was very, very sad. He was on our station for a lot of years. And then we had Heather Wade, who he produced the show. He owned the show.
Right.
It was produced from his studios, but Heather did the show. And unfortunately, he passed away about 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
On Friday the 13th, ironically.
On Friday the 13th. And but Heather has been so distraught over this that she hasn't come back. And so Art Bell, we're playing reruns of Art Bell.
That's good.
So that's every night now, starting at 9 o'clock until the midnight hour. It's Art Bell.
It's a popular show.
Yeah, and excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a little bit of a cold. And that's a great thing, because if you listen to it, it's just classic radio. Art Bell, coast to coast, years to years. Everybody in the world listened to Art Bell, especially if you're driving on the road late night. It was something to behold, and he just had a very interesting way of interviewing people and bringing out that information out of people and bringing the best out in people. One of the best interviewers I've ever heard and seen in action. So, join us 9 o'clock, Art Bell. But that's an old show, right? We've got newer shows starting that are coming our way. Wake Up Awareness now on Sunday mornings. It's a show with Reverend Irma Forward and Gene Kennedy.
Wake Up Awakenings.
Wake Up Awakenings, yes. Yeah, Andrew did the promo, so he knows that.
Wake Up Awakenings.
I was here on Sunday, and what a group. I mean,
Yeah.
they look like a fantastic group of people.
Right. They're very nice. And then On the Money has just re-upped their contract.
Yay for
as of
contracts.
yesterday. So they will be with us until way through the summer, which is very good. The Iffy Show, Source TV with Mary and Initza at 9 o'clock on Fridays is a very interesting show. They're models. They present very well on our video portion. And, of course, if you're driving down the road right now, you're saying, what video? Yes, we do video, and we're on YouTube. We're on Spreaker, which is not video. We're on Tiki Live.
Yep.
And also
Twitch,
on
right?
And also the TuneIn app, keyword KCAA. And if you're traditional,
just doing video.
KCAAradio.com.
Just trying to get to the video part of it. But, yeah, Hulu is
Hulu,
also.
yeah.
And then also we do, what was that other one we used to do? We don't do very much anymore. But yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the gamer channel Twitch.
Twitch, yeah, we
Yeah.
do that as well. Anyway, so those are all the videos. Then we have at 10 a.m. on Saturdays, Lieutenant Chad Bianco and the Law in Riverside County.
Good guy.
Good guy, presents very well. He also is running for sheriff in Riverside County. So he has a show every Saturday. We also have Inside Analysis. It's a financial show with Eric Kavanaugh, DM Radio, The Trevor Chapman Show, U-Turn Radio, not We Too, but U-Turn Radio,
Yeah.
which started just this past Saturday at 2 p.m. And then we also have, what is the show?
The WeTube radio show where we talk YouTube.
Yes, and of course that's starring
Mwah.
Andrew Caravella. I think you just kissed the microphone.
I did.
That was really weird.
Yeah, people sneezed on it. I got to
okay.
disinfect my lips.
And then
Hopefully
also,
Mark's cold isn't over there, too.
yeah,
There's a glass thing between us, so we're good.
and there's another guy on there too. You're forgetting.
Oh, yeah, Manny Boy Sandoval, my co-host.
See how fast he said that? It's like Andrew Caravella.
Dun, 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 dun. And no, Manny Boy's really good.
Yeah,
We balance each other because he's like real cool and like laid back, and I'm like, yeah, so it's good.
And a brand new show, which we're delighted to have. It's nationally known, called Phil's Gang Finance Radio, and it's on Monday through Friday at 1 p.m.
That man is a firecracker.
Yes, he is. He is
Yeah.
very much so. And great show. We're glad to have them on board. We're also glad to have their money. But no, I shouldn't say things like that. And, of course, Danny and the Law, and the new show that Brandon's been doing for a little bit. It's not quite new anymore, but Mainframe, which is a technical show. And we start a new show called The Geek Show
Ooh.
at 5 p.m.
Go
on
Geeks.
Saturdays.
Yeah.
It's a technical show, The Geek Show. And we're going to put Get Balanced that was on Saturdays at that time at 6 p.m. And we have Reality Check Live, which I don't know what that's going to be about yet.
We don't know.
We don't know, but
I'm excited.
Fred knows. Fred knows.
Okay.
Yeah, Fred knows. He's the one that sold the show. And then we have also For the People with Judge Herb Dodell. And a very good show. It's been on for a little bit, but we haven't had a shout-out for them yet. So a very, very good show. We have a lot of new stuff. On Saturday nights at 8 p.m., DJ Roxy Dot. And we start with some of those music shows in the evening, which is great. We also have a new show starting Blood-Curdling Stories on Saturday at
Ooh.
9. Blood-Curdling Stories.
Is that like radio theater?
Yeah, it's kind of like Vincent Price.
That's cool.
And by the way, I want to say hello to Nick Lane if he's listening. Nick is a new employee too. We livened up our Saturday nights. We used to be automated. Now we have these live shows. So I had to hire somebody new.
We have real
which is
people
good.
here now.
Yes. So Nick Lane is here in the evenings working the joint, and he's helping out on a live show 10 to midnight called Southern Talk to the Midnight Hour.
Ooh.
And it's one of these shows about, we think they're doing this, or we think Area 51 is doing this.
The
or,
truth is out
yes,
there.
there's a word for that.
It's called
Conspiracy
Fox
theory.
Mulder.
Conspiracy.
No, Fox Mulder.
Conspiracy theories, that's right.
It's Fox Mulder.
Yes, conspiracy theories. The cold medication is getting to me. It's always fun to do all this when you're on cold medication. All right, move your microphone closer to you, Ms. Elaine McFadden, because we're going to get to a very interesting segment before we talk to Joe Amlani from State Farm here at the 30. So we got about 15 minutes to talk, and you can chime in too if you have a
Okay.
question. And you're a young'un.
Bradley.
Bradley.
Now that's going to be the running joke, right? Bradley.
Bradley.
Bradford, Brad, I don't
No, he likes Bradford.
I'll call
I
him
like-
Frank.
Hey, I like both. I like.
But if you tell somebody around here not to call you something,
that's the thing. Is it's
you
kind of a
shouldn't have done
double-edged
that.
sword. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just rolled with Bradley.
but you know,
it
that's the
doesn't
one
actually bother me. You know what I mean? But
yeah, my nephew is Bradley, and that's so
okay, see,
it's
I
very
missed
hard.
the memo.
I'm gonna call him
That's
Frank.
The one
You're
that
good.
you don't like. Okay.
Frank.
No, no,
Just
no.
make up a name. I'll just call him Frank.
But you're allowed to call me Bradley now. You can, yeah,
Okay,
if you really want to.
all right. And now that we're through this, Bradford, have you in the last year or two seen a butterfly anywhere?
I feel like I have, but I haven't been paying too much attention, I guess you could say, as to whether or not I have actually seen a butterfly because I just take it for granted, I guess,
Well,
that they're
no,
just there.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Well, I don't know. Well,
Put your microphone closer to you.
Okay.
No, I'm talking to Elaine now. There we go. That microphone's a little tricky. Okay.
I think if you really see one, I think you, and it's a special moment. I think you do remember.
Yeah. And see, Elaine hosts a show called Smart Health Talk on Thursdays. No, on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays
At 4.
Yeah, for
Tuesdays at 4.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I messed up on that one. Tuesdays at 4. But she's been here for years and years and years, and always a delight to see her come screeching into the parking lot at 4:02
Yeah, that's me.
and jumps in the seat and does a show. And does a great show from that moment on. She's a real pro. But she's also an activist for the environment and butterflies.
Actually, I do the show like I used to study for tests when I went back to school for 8.5 years. And that was like to the very last minute.
Well, this is
And-
something that just reached
and
out and
I'm
grabbed me.
researching, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
researching for the show to the very last minute because I want to bring breaking news that nobody else has heard.
Well,
but
let me
my
get into it.
perspective.
Let me get into it. 90% of butterflies have disappeared.
Yes.
That's a true fact.
Billions of them. And right here in the Inland Empire, there used to be millions. They used to cover cars. People tell stories when they grew up here, and the way there is just, they would come into sheets, and they couldn't even see their car because there were so many of them. And, you know, we have to ask, why are they not here anymore?
Well, at one beach up in central California, they did a little butterfly census in 1997. They figured they estimated it was about 120,000 butterflies one season. And in 2009, there was only about 1,300. That's how drastically. And there's an eastern butterfly and a western butterfly. I quick study. And, of course, the western butterflies all exist on the coast of California, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Survive on pine trees and the milkweed.
We're supposed to be part of the migration.
Right.
They go there in the winter, but some stay there as well.
And that's something I didn't know too. And now there's the eastern butterfly, which migrates from Canada all the way down to Mexico.
It's amazing. The monarchs are one of the most incredible creatures that we have on the
I
planet.
never realized it. I just thought they've flooded around the local area and lived their whole life in a cycle, and that was it.
No, they
they-
migrate thousands of miles.
How long do butterflies live?
Well, it depends on the time of year. During the summertime, when they're laying eggs and breeding, it's about 6 weeks. But over the winter time, that butterfly is supposed to live for 3 to 4 months because it goes into hibernation mode where it doesn't want to breed, and it's supposed to live in the eucalyptus trees on the coast and then migrate back. A population is supposed to be migrating back to the Inland Empire in the spring, and that's when they start wanting to breed. So those actually get to live for a few months, which is pretty awesome.
Isn't that incredible, Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you could give Elaine just a little bit more heat on her microphone, I appreciate it. Now,
She's cranked up.
all right, crank her up. There you go. She's talking real quietly. Now, Elaine is the perfect person for this, to be a butterfly keeper. And she really does do that.
Yeah,
And-
I raised 600 last summer. 600. I raised and released 600 at my home, and the reason for that's better. The reason for that is because we want to protect them against a disease that can kill like 50% of them. And by washing the eggs and the leaves that they get, we're reducing the risk of the disease.
So you have a website called BlueMonarchProject.com.
Correct. That's it.
BlueMonarchProject.com.
Yeah.
And the monarchs migrate 3,000 miles between Canada. There's been a 90% drop, and there's some predators that I didn't realize. that bees are predators of butterflies?
Actually, man is the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
could almost say
the
that for
two
everything, right?
the two main reasons why we don't have butterflies are there's not enough milkweed, which is the plant that the caterpillars have to have.
Because farmers
To
hate
eat.
milkweed.
And the thing is, they've done studies, and it hardly takes anything from the soil. And it brings all kinds of benefits because it attracts butterflies and things like that. So milkweed actually drains very little nutrients from the soil or neighboring plants. It can be right next to a plant. So that's kind of a bad rap.
It just doesn't look as nice, maybe. I don't know.
No, they actually, it's just the pesticides. What
They spray the heck out of them.
Well, see, this is kind of a I'm glad you bring this up because this is really kind of a misnomer, a myth. What we know more now. And because of Dr. Jonathan Lundgren, we know that these neonicotinoid pesticides that we're spraying on millions of acres of land, that even at half the dose the government allows at 1 part per billion, we have 100% death of bees and butterflies. So
Wow.
even, if you, even at so the government is allowing 1 part per billion, but even at half of that, we still have 100% death. So we don't even know how small the dose is. We are on our way to another silent spring, which happened in the 60s because of DDT. But these neonicotinoids are just as bad, and they're killing the bees off at extremely small doses. And all of these home improvement stores are spraying their plants. So people think that they're doing a good thing. They go buy plants. I'm going to plant these for the bees and the butterflies. But unfortunately, they're actually killing
Oh, my gosh.
the bees because the nectar, it's through the whole plant.
Right now in front of Home Depot, there's nothing but flowers.
Yeah,
Big potted flowers for people to buy.
I went to Moon Valley Nursery looking for some milkweed when I had 50 caterpillars, not one leaf, and I didn't want them to die. And they misinformed me on the phone. And when I got there, I kind of got them to tell me the truth. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we did spray it with pesticide, and we actually spray everything here because the Department of Agriculture tells us we have to." And I'm like, "Excuse me, that's not true."
How do you go and find plants that are not sprayed with these pesticides?
Well, this
in
is a big
certain
problem.
areas?
I feel like you yell at them though, like how passionate you get on your show. Like I don't think it's excuse me, that's not true. I think you really like just lay it on them, don't you?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I try to get them to see how important it is with knowledge, and I educate them on how bad the pesticide is and how if they sell me a plant with pesticide, they are going to be responsible for killing my caterpillars. And then they coughed up the truth. So that's how I don't, I'm telling them, listen, if you're lying to me, this is what's going to happen, and I'll know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and you do know because the pesticide, the caterpillars will die, and they have like this green, it looks like that stuff they used to use on Nickelodeon, the green slime, yeah. And it's because they've been exposed to pesticides, but these pesticides are just wiping them out. And the really upsetting thing, Mark, was when I was so proud of myself for this because I'd never done it before, and I felt like a real American here. I used the Freedom of Information Act.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I know they hate that, by the way.
I'm going to take the initiative.
I want all your cell phone records. It's the Freedom of Information Act. You can do that to a government employee. They don't like it.
Oh, yeah, they actually did it to Consumer Reports. I got some inside information on that about a week ago. But anyway, yeah, I used it with something that I thought was something I should be using it for, which was to pretty much subpoena records from the Department of Agriculture on what pesticides were being sprayed around my home and in the Inland Empire, the entire county, actually, of San Bernardino for an entire year. And when I started looking at those and seeing all the pesticides that I knew of that were being sprayed around my house, because they only have to tell you where they're spraying it if it's production, which means like an orchard or a farm. Then they have to tell you the exact location and what they sprayed and how much. And when I started going over these records, I was so upset because this is happening right across the street from our schools. These are some of the worst pesticides that destroy their hormone disruptors, and these kids are going through puberty, which means they may not be able to have kids later in life. after being exposed to that intensely, where it's right across the street. And they say that
one of the things you say the side effects from this is in males.
Oh, yes, that's atrazine, number 2 most used pesticide in the country. It has actually contaminated every single waterway. There was one case of a boy that it was in the well so concentrated, his entire body broke out in hives, and it took like over 1,000 people donating immunoglobulins to cure him.
Right.
It was that horrible. But not just that, with Dr. Tyrone Hayes, who is so smart, he is the youngest professor at Berkeley to get tenure, and that's the 4th best university in the world. And this guy knows his stuff, okay? And what he found out by testing frogs that actually change color when they're a male or a female, they were changing color when exposed to the atrazine. So he had a pool party, put the males in the pool with water that contained urine from landscapers diluted 37,000 times. When he put the male frogs in the pool and then put them with females, those male frogs never got the girl, not interested, more interested in the boys, could not sing the song because it destroys their
So it was like
larynx.
a little frog pride festival.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is not normal.
It's not. It's not.
No,
I joke about it, but it's not. But
no, I just want to, the other thing that he found that is so important is when he tested the testosterone, he tested these frogs afterwards. What he found is 10% grew ovaries and turned into females, could literally have young. We were producing eggs. The other 90% had hardly any testosterone levels left in their body. Their testosterone was wiped out.
thank God I'm not a frog.
But the really horrible thing that happens is in the womb, atrazine triggers the hormone estrogen. So when you have a boy baby in the womb that's being exposed to large levels of estrogen, it affects their genital organs. It causes micropenises. It's called old man scrotums. It's deformed scrotums, other problems with the penis, which I'm a public health person, so excuse me, I talk about this stuff.
It's clinical. We can talk about it.
Yeah, it's clinical. I am a dietitian as well. But anyway, this is the reality, and people don't want to talk about this, and they don't want to face the truth of what's happening. But I got a confirmation from a neonatal nurse at Loma Linda that this is what she's seeing there.
Wow.
And we have seen cases of clusters with abnormal babies born with abnormal genetic chromosomal defects.
So they use atrazine to spray for pests, basically.
Oh, they use it on lots of different. It's the number 2 most used pesticide. It's banned in Europe. The only reason, and even after when Dr. Hayes did all this, Syngenta, the maker, threatened him. They threatened his family. They threatened to totally destroy him. And unfortunately for them, emails were obtained through a court case, and it totally uncovered their conspiracy against him, trying to force him to change the records
stuff.
So that it didn't look like it caused any problems. But still, they were able to get approved. And we should be asking, how is this happening? How was that ever approved when this is what it's doing? And the birth defects are a big part of pesticides. The good thing is, if you buy organic, you are consuming over 99% less pesticides when you buy organic. And people will think, oh, I can't afford this. I say,
Can't afford not to.
Oh, and Mark, because you've managed a farmer's market, and that people get good bargains there. They're buying direct. We're cutting out the middleman. We're cutting out the broker, cutting out the distributor.
Tastes so much better.
Oh, it's fresh.
It's fresh, yeah.
Like they picked it like that morning or the day before. And I'll tell you, you want health, you want life, you don't want to, die of disease.
You're not tasting dyes. You're not tasting wax. You're not, all the pesticides and all that kind of stuff.
You're so right.
If you're not buying your food at a farmer's market, and also our food has been genetically modified. And let's face it, the bread we eat today is not the bread that Grandma used to serve us, or my mom even served.
No, they spray it with the wheat with glyphosate before it's picked, because What happened was Roundup, which now is on, it has to have a cancer warning on every product sold in California. And Monsanto tried with tooth and nail to stop it, multiple court cases, loss. There's one pending. I'm not sure if we have the decision yet. A lot's writing on it. A lot of people with cancer that have lawsuits against Monsanto. So this is kind of a really big deal. But the thing is, if we have any doubt, why are we taking the risk with our children's health is what I want to ask. We know lead is in the water worse than we ever thought.
Yeah, Detroit still doesn't have good water.
No, there's 2,000 other cities, Mark, that has higher lead levels than Flint.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing.
That's how bad, and it destroys kids'
Well,
brains. They
you know,
can't
we're
learn.
running out of time here, and we could go on and on and on about this, and that's why you have a show.
Well, I try to get it in a nutshell and try to.
Yeah,
I
and
tried
you
to
did.
touch on the most important things
But
to get
let's-
people thinking.
Let's
at
go
least.
back to happy thoughts here for a
Okay.
minute. Butterflies.
Yes,
we all
let's
love
think about that.
butterflies.
Yeah, I'm so depressed.
Well, no, but
Well-
it's factual.
Solution now.
No, but the thing is, there's a good. All you have to do is like seek out the good farmers
Right,
and buy
right,
buy
right.
from them. And people are what? Oh, I'm depressed because I want to be lazy
Is there a
and
way
cheat. I call it cheaters.
Is there a way to make it easy though to find the good reputable farmers and things like that? Because sometimes they make things so difficult to find quality products.
Yeah, eat local grown and also localharvest.org. You can find them.
Localharvest.org.
But the butterfly situation, the thing is, if everyone out there that's listening, tell your landscaper, please don't use pesticides on our property. And you're protecting your family by doing that. And you're also protecting the landscaper because, as we said, it's the landscaper's urine that was the most concentrated. So they're at risk, and you're saving them from themselves. And then you're saving your family. But also, we need to come together and tell the city. I'm going to be going to the next city council meeting and presenting information that says, hey, look, what they did at Irvine at a school right there, they brought an organic landscaper in. He changed a couple of things. They had a green carpet a year sooner than they thought. They're only watering 2 times a week instead of 6 times a week. They're going to get it down to 1 time a week. And the grass was like brown and ugly, and now it's a green carpet.
So fascinating and so interesting, Elaine McFadden.
With organic, no pesticides.
And you know, the beautiful thing about this is BlueMonarchProject.com is about the butterflies. In particular, we could go on and on about the pesticides
Well,
and the
the
GMOs.
plants.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is we get back to the fact there's hardly any plants to buy that are organic, and that's why we started our own organic nursery.
And you put your money where your mouth is because you're coming here now
Yes,
every Sunday.
from
what time
11 to 5.
11 to 5, setting up the parking lot with our KCAA booth. And you can come and you can see the butterflies.
Well, we're hoping. The thing is, I want to start crying right now. I haven't seen one monarch, and I released 600 last year. I was releasing them till a couple of weeks ago, and I have none in my yard and all kinds of milkweed. And I'm really kind of freaking out. I'm like, okay, is any of them going to show up? So I don't know, but I know that I
It's
do.
been a little cold. They've flown to Mexico for a minute. They'll come back.
No, none of ours go to Mexico. But
Oh, okay.
anyway, I do have the organic milkweed. That's one of the things that we need to do, and I do have organic nectar plants for all the bees and butterflies to not get impacted by any chemicals. I use the best soil that comes from Canada. The plants are so healthy and beautiful with all kinds of great flowers. The hummingbirds will come into your yard, and you can sit and watch them enjoy themselves as well. And it's just when you do get the butterflies and the caterpillars, it's an experience that we've lost, and it's something. Whenever I talk to anyone and they remember raising them as a child, their whole face lights up, and we are taking that from our children, the chance to have that experience, the chance for us to share that with our children. And if you grow milkweed, perhaps we can make it happen. And
Well, before we go to the break here, I just wanted to underscore a few things. Your website is BlueMonarchProject.org. What was that?
.com
.com. BlueMonarchProject.com. LocalHarvest.org.
is the
LocalHarvest.org.
Find farmers.
And you're here every Sunday right now, right here at
11
KCAA, 1378 Industrial Park Avenue in the Tri-City
You
Center.
can see me right by the street.
And you can see, the KCAA booth and everything, and she's got plants here and milkweed.
I'm the only one out there with plants.
Yeah, but but it's a nice
Please
thing to come by.
see me.
Come
Please.
see Elaine.
Yeah, I want to meet the community, and I want to talk to the community about this and answer any
hear more?
questions. I have plans to do things like 10-minute diet counselings for people that come and buy plants. Because I can have a short questionnaire and we can work on one behavior change in 10 minutes and show people, some other alternatives on how to change their life, things like that. So,
beautiful. I got to go to the next person.
Yep.
And it's been wonderful talking to you, and thank you for coming down, Elaine, at the last minute.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
inviting
Elaine McFadden, one of our oldest and truest show
Smart
hosts
Health
here.
Talk Tuesdays, 4 to 5.
Yeah, right here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. And 106.5 and 102.3. I'll get all the callers right.
I heart radio for podcasts, too.
Yeah, and podcast. Thank you very much for joining us as well.
Oh, no problem.
Bradford Evans.
It was a pleasure.
And we'll be back right after this with Joe Amlane from State Farm and some very interesting stuff as well.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
This is Marge Doyle, RN, and I approve this message. As a registered nurse and candidate for Congress, I strongly support everyone having access to health care. Our pristine and irreplaceable public lands, which are directly tied to our economy and thousands of jobs, are not for sale to corporations. I will work to help immigrants find a path to citizenship, more education, vocational school opportunities. Reliable internet will bring new business to our district. Please vote for me, Marge Doyle, for Congress, June 5th.
Paid for by Marge Doyle for Congress, 2018.
KCAA Radio is proud to announce that the Tri-City Center in Redlands is our new home. We're fortunate to be located among some of the best businesses in the region. Among our neighbors are Ray Chiropractic, Brace Connection Orthodontist, Pain Solutions Medical Massage, Rent-A-Center, MVP Staffing Agency, Jenny Craig, Salon Centric, and many more. The Tri-City Shopping Center is located just off the I-10 between Alabama and the Tennessee exits in Redlands. The Tri-City Center is the mall with a heart.
The Redlands Police Officers Foundation is holding their 2018 charity golf tournament on Monday, May 14th at Tuckwit Canyon. This tournament will benefit the RPOF's work for youth and the Boys and Girls Club. Check-in is at 8 and four-person scramble starts at 10. The Morongo Golf Club at Tuckwit is on Champion Drive in Beaumont. Want to pre-register? Call 909-557-6605. This is Joe Lyons. I'll see you there, and remember, together we are taking care of business in Redlands.
If you or a loved one was seriously injured in an accident with a semi-truck or an 18-wheeler truck, you need to act fast. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454. Truck accident cases are different than an auto versus auto accident. There are so many more issues involved when dealing with a truck accident case. There are federal regulations and state regulations, several different companies that may be involved. I can immediately gather the evidence, get you the medical care you need with no deductible and no copay to you, and get you the compensation and the money you deserve for your injuries. And if there's no recovery, there's no fees charged to you. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
And we're back on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 and 102.3.
I totally hit the wrong one.
Yeah, you're new on this shift. That's okay. We understand. We understand. But I'm
back.
sitting here. During the break, Elaine brought me this wonderful warm cup of chocolate Peruvian tea. It's very good. Very good.
Is there any more?
I'm sure there is. She says it's in the kitchen.
I'll check it out later.
So you check it out later.
The plants are 300 years old in that. So.
Yeah, the plants are 300 years old. That's very good. Thank you. And as we come back, we welcome a new businessman here in Redlands. Boy, I'm really hot now. Yeah, you need to turn me down a little bit, okay? All right. I don't want to. I'm like way back from the microphone. Here we go. All right. And now maybe a little bit up. Okay. It's nice. Always nice to do a mic check on the air, but now I'm not even here. Andrew. Now I'm here. Okay. Oh, more. Give me more. Give me a little more. Wow, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I apologize for that. You got to give me some more.
Mark, do you want to take over my mic?
No, we're all right. We're getting there. I'll just talk louder. Okay. So, my apologies. We're welcoming Joe Amlani, who's a new State Farm insurance agent here in Redlands.
Hello, everybody.
And it's great to have you. It is really great to have you here. And we welcome you. You have a new agency you just opened up down the street from us.
That's correct. We're on Redlands Boulevard in Alabama right here next to the Avis car rental place.
Right. And you called me up the other day because I have another radio station. It's a nonprofit, KQLH, which is going on the air.
That's correct.
And you want to support that and the good work we're doing there. And that's at 92.5. Everybody will be able to hear that very shortly in about a week and a half. And you're supporting us there, and we're supporting you by putting your ads on KQLH and then also on KCAA. So you're also a new sponsor here. We're going to get that going here.
Absolutely.
And so we have this little jingle, and I'm keeping Andrew on his toes here. This we just pulled this down here so everybody can recognize who State Farm is. If you Now, don't make me sing like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
You know, when Mark told me State Farm was here, I got real excited because I thought Jake was coming, but he's not.
Jake is not available today, so he's out on vacation. So I can't
explain to me who Jake is.
Jake is our spokesman on the TV and radio, so he's unavailable today. But I came in his.
He wears khakis.
He does wear khakis.
That's a thing for the thing.
Okay,
absolutely.
I will have to look this Jake
and
thing
he's
up.
a guy, so
he must be hideous.
Jake from State Farm.
Well, it's good, and but we have Joe from State Farm here now.
Yes, you do.
That's good.
So tell us, Joe. You know, State Farm. A lot of people know it. You know, my parents had State Farm insurance. I've had it. Auto insurance, home insurance, property insurance, life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You sell it all.
We sell it all. Yes.
And you know, the biggest thing you sell is probably home insurance.
Home and auto insurance. Yeah, those are the two main ones. And actually, we're also number one in life insurance as well.
And so tell us, how does State Farm stand out from, like, well, we'll get to the auto insurance here in a minute, but like home insurance?
Well, how do we stand out from the homeowners? You get us when you call the office. So there's a lot of companies that sell home insurance to the public. There's nothing wrong with those policies. For us, the main thing is that you get a point of contact that's not a 1-800 number. It's not customer service rep number 129. Absolutely. Yeah. So you get a hold of us. We know you personally. You get to know us. We're able to keep track of what needs to be happening with your policies on a day-to-day and year-to-year basis.
We always experience that we had an insurance agent over in San Bernardino, Mark Beglin.
Mm-hmm.
And I did tell you a little history. Mark started out on D Street in San Bernardino, and he had an office right next door to my father. It was a real estate agency. So they knew each other.
Absolutely.
So a little State Farm family kind of thing going on there.
Yeah.
But, you know, my family has had State Farm for a lot of years, and they also have auto insurance. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the auto insurance.
So the auto insurance, another way we're differentiated than other companies is that we see what risks you have that you may want to protect, and we go after those risks. So a lot of people just want to get you in and want to get you out. You know, everyone knows that 10 or 15 minutes can save you money. You know, we're about that, but we're also about making sure you are covered because no one needs insurance until they need it.
Right.
And then that's where we come into play.
And then it's too late then.
Absolutely.
It's too late then.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into being a State Farm insurance agent?
Well, I'm a State Farm customer for the last 15 years, and I like the product quite a bit. And my wife and I have had it for many years with our kids. And for me, it's all about the product. I believe in the product, and I love helping people in the community. So you'll see us all the time, everywhere. Tomorrow we're going to be at Market Night in Redlands, so please come out and say hello to us. We'll be there.
Yeah. So you're at Market Night in Redlands. That's a big market night, by the way.
Yeah, on State Street. We'll be right in front of where the Baskin-Robbins is. Okay,
that's easy to find. Then I know where that is. If you're local to Redlands, every Thursday night for ever and a day, probably for the last couple of centuries. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Last decade or so, they've had a farmer's market. Very successful. It's a big farmer's market. It's about 6 or 7 blocks.
Yeah.
So it's important to know. Baskin-Robbins, that's where you'll find them. And, you know, maybe if you have a State Farm policy and you're interested in augmenting it a little bit, adding to it, maybe you just have the home insurance and you decide you want auto insurance. Or maybe you have auto insurance and maybe you have home insurance. Now, let's talk about auto insurance because that's a big one. What kind of things do State Farm auto insurance premium owners get? They get roadside insurance assistance, stuff like that?
A lot of our policies come with roadside assistance, and it's a 1-800 number to call. You can call our office. We can get you assistance with that. But the main thing is our phone number that's on the door 24/7 is available. So if there is an issue, they call that number, and always somebody will answer the phone 24/7, 365.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing that's always been good about State Farm, I think, is that you have somebody that picks up the phone.
Correct.
And you said 24 hours a day.
24/7, or someone will answer that number if you call it.
Right. So if you're in an auto accident, State Farm's there.
Yep.
I guess that's kind of cliche.
And we have what's called our Pocket Agent, our app. You can file the claim even on your app, and you can view all your policies, everything right there from one centralized location. With the digital age now, everyone uses that. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people use that for information they need.
Yeah. So now you're part of the community, and you've got a special event coming up.
Yeah, we have a few special events coming up. We are a sponsor of the Hangar 24 Air Fest in Redlands at Hangar 24 Brewery and the airport there. We will be a sponsor there.
Now, Hangar 24, let's not breeze over that. Hangar 24 is a big brewery in the whole inland region.
Sure.
Everybody likes their orange beer.
Of course, orange wheat. No.
And, they have their hangar. I don't know. Bradford, you ever been out there?
I actually don't drink, but I've been to Hangar 24, and they have a bunch of really cool stuff out there all the time. Obviously, Airfest I've been to. I think on St. Patrick's Day they had Fortinos, who make kind of tacos and stuff like that, and chips, and really good stuff all throughout the board. Really good time as well. It's a lot of fun. They do have good soda, so that works for me.
So it's a good place to go out. It's by the airport.
Yep.
And what date is this event?
It's going to be May 19th and 20th. So it's coming up here in a couple of weeks. We are a sponsor. We do have the Good Neighbor out there. So have someone dress up in the Good Neighbor costume, and we'll be passing out stuff to the kids. We'll be having cornhole to play games and win prizes, shirts, all kinds of stuff. So we'll be out there on Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th.
Yeah, and you talk very quickly, so I'm going to reiterate this a little bit. Sunday, May 19th and 20th.
Saturday and Sunday.
19th
and 20th.
Hangar 24. And what is the title of this event called again?
Hangar 24 Airfest.
Hangar 24 Airfest. Okay.
Correct.
So you're not the only thing out there. There's going to be some sort of a plane show or something?
Yeah, there's going to be an air show, and there's going to be quite a bit of food trucks. As Bradford mentioned, there's going to be a lot of food, drinks. Of course, they're going to have beer. They'll have other things there as well. But a lot of food and a lot of activities, a lot of it even geared towards kids. So
sounds like a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, absolutely.
Well, fantastic. And State Farm's getting involved in the community that way. And you can meet Jake. No, Joe.
No, Joe.
It's not Jake, it's Joe. But we're going to make you the new local Jake here.
Absolutely, yeah,
please. And I'm going to have to look out who Jake is. And I obviously that one didn't work on me. So a lot of times, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Everybody knows that jingle.
Yes, they do.
And the reason they do is because they've heard it on radio. They've heard it on TV. And, I could sing it. I go, like a good neighbor. And everybody else can sing the second part.
Yes.
State Farm is there.
Always there.
And that's why it's good. And you have your mobile vehicles out there. And
yes, we'll have our Easy Ups. And like I said, we'll have our Nay Bear. So someone dresses up as a bear, and then the kids love that. And we give out suckers and all that kind of stuff.
Is it Jake?
It is not Jake.
Okay.
His name is Adrian. And he
Andrew is fixated on this Jake for something.
Jake is so cool.
Jake will make an appearance, I promise you.
It's like that one girl from the other insurance thing, but this Jake, and he wears khakis.
Well, print out a picture, okay?
We will. We'll have a picture up for him.
Well, very good. So now, what is the difference between home insurance and property insurance?
Well, the home insurance is going to protect the home. So typically, a lot of our homeowners policies is going to protect the structure and any personal property on the inside, because if there was a loss, particular fire, the dirt's still there. We're just going to rebuild the structure, and the personal property is affected, of course. So that would be TVs, clothes, pots, pans, those kind of nature. Tip for everyone who has homeowners insurance: take your smartphone and literally take a video of inside your home, and that will take an inventory of any kind of property you have in the home.
That's a great idea.
So
you should do that.
Start in your front door, just go through everywhere, open up all the cupboards. Most phones are connected to a cloud-type device, so even if you lost the phone, you'd still be able to pull it up.
Email it to yourself, especially if you're on Google or something like that.
Exactly.
You'll always have it. And you should probably do this regularly, I would think, because the items in your home changes, you do remodeling, whatever, then that stuff all has to be insured.
Yeah, it's easy to later to submit to the insurance company and say, this is what I had. Here's my 15, 18-minute video. Mine's about 18 minutes, and it's easy to kind of just read it. People write it down before. That was the old way. Now I always recommend all our clients take a video.
And for theft, probably email yourself the serial numbers, all that sort of thing. Email the pictures of this thing. Put it up in the cloud so you have it to bring it down.
Correct.
And that way you're not scrambling if your home catches on fire.
Right.
If there's a natural disaster and you have to flee your home, you're probably going to leave those documents and records behind. Those may burn, those may flood, whatever.
Exactly right.
It must have been quite an experience for State Farm adjusters and insurers during the fires that happened this past November.
Yes, it kept us busy. We had largest percentage of homeowners of all the fires in California of late, but we helped them. We set up mobile claim centers and trying to get everyone back on their feet. It's been challenging, but we've been able to do what we can. That's the most important thing.
Wow, and you know, the thing is, State Farm is a big enough company, I would think, that, you know, if you get hit by a disaster in your local community, there's going to be a lot of people that have State Farm, but there's also going to be a lot of response.
Yes.
And I think you bring in insurers and adjusters from out of the state, too.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We mobilized many of the agents and a lot of claims adjusters to go out there and be mobile to help whatever they could.
Because let's face it, you don't want to be waiting 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get a check. You know, you want to have it on the spot so you can go back to living again.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the difference between some and others, is that, you know, you do that. I know that for sure, and that's a very, very good thing. So if people want to get a hold of Joe Amlani, how would they do that?
Well, they can go to our website, joeamlani.com, or they can come down and visit us, 1615 West Redlands Boulevard, Suite Letter D. We're right next to the Avis car rental place in Redlands, on Redlands Boulevard in Alabama. Or they can give us a call at 909-894-4619. We are open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day.
And thank you, Andrew.
It was the right plug for it right there.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Joe Amlani, do you mind if I give your email out? Because I know it now personally.
Absolutely.
Very well, because I was trying to write it down the other day, and I was adding an I in the middle of it.
No worries.
So I apologize. It's Joe. That's very easy. J-O-E at Joe Amlani, and Amlani is spelled A-M-L-A-I-N-A.
No. A-M-L-A-N-I.com.
A-M-L-A-N-I.com.
That's correct.
JoeAmlani.com.
Please, this week, the week of this week we're on right now is Small Business Week, so it's one of the reasons I'm supporting this radio station, because it's a small business in the area. We're also a small business, so please shop small businesses this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. His phone number is 894-4619. 894-4619, of course, in the 909 area code. You can find him in the heart of Redlands at Alabama and Redlands Boulevard, right there. And I believe that is the southwest corner.
Correct.
That's right, next to Avis. And it's a little strip mall, and it's in right behind it is Kmart.
It is.
So everybody knows where Kmart is, too. So, you know, very easy to find. Very nice guy, Joe Amlani, who's supporting small business, Small Business Week, and we appreciate that. State Farm Insurance, with, you know, auto insurance, home insurance, property insurance, and doing great things in the community.
We try to be.
They're always reaching out and doing events. Have you done other previous events, by the way?
Yes, we were part of the Ronald McDonald Walk in Fontana. So anything to do with kids, I'm all about it. I have 3 children, so anything I can do to help support kids. So the Ronald McDonald House had a walk in Fontana. We were a sponsor there, giving out goodies to the kids. And then we're going to be also part of the Rotary Touch a Truck, which is going to be at the University of Redlands on June 9th.
Touch a Truck.
So
tell me what Touch a Truck is.
So website, redlandstouchatruck.com, but please go and check it out. It's we're an event at University of Redlands where there's going to be a lot of different commercial type vehicles, ambulance, bus, dump trucks, helicopters, and kids can go in and play and touch and, you know, explore the vehicles. So
that's kind of cool for a kid to be able to do that.
Absolutely. We're a double sponsor there, and there is no alcohol. It is 100% geared towards kids, so bring the family. It is Saturday, June 9th.
Saturday, June 9th. Okay, that's Touch a Truck. And then May 19th
and
20th. And that's out in Redlands Hangar, 24. And from what time to what time again?
So Saturday is 11 to 9, and then Sunday is 10 to 5.
All right. And there's a website you can go to for all of this, probably. That's your website?
The Hangar 24 Airfest will not be on my website, but you can give us a call at the office.
Oh, come on.
We can explain any of those events to you, plus also talk about your insurance needs.
Yeah. Okay, can you give the website?
Sure. joeamlani.com.
That's easy.
It's easy.
Thought that was going to be State Farm / right? No.
Nope,
just
none of that.
joeamlani.com. Very easy.
Please, yes.
Very easy to go. Well, we thank you, Joe.
Mark, thanks for having me.
Hang around. We'll be right back here in a minute. Thank you very much to Bradford Evans.
Thank you, Bradford.
Yeah,
thank
no
you.
problem.
Thank you at the last minute to do this shift for me.
Are you cutting it early?
I'm going to cut it a little early today. Thank you for bringing that up.
Kind of running out of fill a little bit.
You know, and that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
You know. But I was going to talk about a few other things.
Oh,
actually.
well, then let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. I wasn't cutting Joe early, but we'd kind of covered the subject here. Yeah. So coming up next week, we have Child Hope here and the foster agencies and adoption process in San Bernardino County and how we can contribute to them and help them. Very, very important information. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we're bringing in a mayoral candidate from the city of San Bernardino, Gigi Hanna.
Oh, yeah.
Will be here. Gigi is running for mayor of San Bernardino.
Gigi.
And we try to also, as the elections get nearby, interview all the candidates and so that the public can get to know them. And, of course, we're based here in Redlands, but we're also a San Bernardino station. So it's important. Those elections are coming up. There really is a couple of elections here in Yucaipa for council seats, I believe. And then a lot of elections happening in San Bernardino and around San Bernardino County. So we're going to try to cover that as well. So we'll be welcoming, once again, Gigi Hanna, and then also from Child Help and Foster Agency, we're going to be talking about that and how you can help or maybe even possibly get involved in that whole big thing. And they do some great things like provide birthday presents, and believe it or not, there are little homes for children in and around San Bernardino County that don't ever get adopted. There are those children.
Yeah.
And so they provide that and help manage that, and it's a very, very important thing. They have some 900 kids in San Bernardino County
That's
that
a
haven't
lot.
been adopted.
And some of those are probably brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, they just haven't been adopted. Maybe they're a little older. So it's going to be a very interesting show. But, you know, bring your tissues a little bit. It's going to tug on your heartstrings.
I got to cry? Okay.
But it's going to be a very, very important day and a very, very important show. So thank you for joining us here on the Mark with Mark Westwood and Andrew Caravella and all of the other people that have joined us today. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. And we'll see you on the other side, as they say. KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5, and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Thank you for listening to On the Mark Live, hosted by Mark Westwood, a weekly show